All right, welcome to the World Touring Car 800 on Daytona. This is last week's weekly challenge. I'm using the GT Nismo here, and you can see we start in 20th, and just like that, here we go. So I get this Porsche right in front of me here, and I actually really like the livery on that car. I think it looks really nice. It's very clean, but fortunately for them, we are never going to see them again. So just like that, they're in the rear view. Before starting this race, I did do a couple time trials just to get myself kind of situated, make sure everything was working well. Onto the bank here. This is where I know my car is much faster than the rest of these cars, because I make pretty quick work of this backpack, no problem. Something I really enjoy about racing in VR is how clearly you can see the cars you pass in the rear view. They are just like, the fidelity on Gran Turismo is amazing. Okay, and then we get the bus stop here, and we kind of fade it to the outside, and there we go. That's 4 positions from the back. Now it's on to the next pack. In one very swift move, they split up into 2 packs. I passed 2, go through, pass the next 2. I think it's a very clean pass, very clean cut. But they say otherwise, because right as we go into turn 1 here, just like that, they spin me out. So something I've noticed recently about the Gran Turismo AI is that they're definitely much more aggressive. And I have my AI settings set to max difficulty, but they are very aggressive. Moving forward here, right back onto the ramp, and I can finally pass them again one more time and make it stick, and then I just gotta catch the leader of this pack here on the straight, which, something about the way I've built this Nismo is very, very nice, because it kind of catches these cars much quicker than it should. And these cars in front of me are faster, but I think it's something to do with the technical aspects of this course. Sometimes I go fairly slow in them, but when it gets to these two straights here, I can really catch a good group of cars. So right now we're in 12th place on the second lap, and I don't remember what the slipstream settings were. I just naturally fall into slipstreams anyways, so I take it as though that they're like turned on or that they're aggressive, but I know that it varies from week to week and race to race, so I try to just account for it in case it does work, and then if not, I know what to do next. Right now we're getting through this second pack here. Something that's different about this race for me that I'm not really used to is I don't typically do 10-lap races where I have to manage pit stops and tires and gas. There are 2 small things about Gran Turismo pit stops that I really don't like, and one of them is VR specific. So as that comes up, I will be sure to tell you, because it's annoying. Now we're in the battle for 7th place here, and I believe we're going to take this one on the outside, because again, we just have pure speed on these cars. So here we go. I do apologize too. I am definitely sick right now, so my voice probably sounds not the best, but back into the chicane here. This is somewhere where I lose a good amount of speed. I think a few more practice laps and maybe some different vehicles, I can try to catch my speed back on that. right behind the Nissan. We're trying to get into fourth here. They play very defensively through these kind of fast corners here, but realistically, it's nothing too difficult. It's just all about reading their lines and figuring out the best routes. So right here, I know I can kind of dive bomb it, but I decided not to do that because I was kind of worried he was going to cut in sooner. So just take him right here on this corner. It seems like my best route is to kind of dice up the packs within these little back roads and then really go for these major passes right here on the bank where I know I have the speed advantage, and even on the higher, slower line, I can take them. Just like that. So you can see I'm checking the tires and the fuel to try to figure out what I'm gonna need to do. I think at this moment I realized that I definitely need to pit for fuel. Might as well do tires, and I think that this is the kind of moment where I realized, one, you don't see when other cars pit in VR. There probably is a screen for that, but I did not know that, so you can't see that the first 2 or 3 cars in front of me were also pitted. So then the other thing I don't like is just how long this takes. The animations, like, I guess because it's not a variable system, it actually works good because no one can really break it or game it or anything, but it just takes so long. It does look really good though. And then one thing that you'll see that I think needs to be addressed in some sort of bug or patch or something. Actually, it should be fairly simple, but I'll explain in just a second. One thing I really don't like is how long this run out is to, I know it's realistic, but man, it takes a minute. So if you take a look at where I'm looking currently at the screen, what I'm seeing is a flat screen video. It's not a VR. This is when I'm back in VR. Something you might notice is now my head is entirely pointed the wrong direction, as though I had centered onto where I was looking, which I was just, following the road. I was kind of doing that, but the game doesn't track that movement and recenter it back to the car. So I end up just staring off into the side, like, so you can see my head is straight in game, but I'm looking to the right a little bit, and it's really annoying. And it's a very quick fix to fix that, but it definitely does break the flow of VR racing. You can see here I have to just click the recenter button and then recenter and then click continue and then go back into it. It is really a very, very small issue that an increasingly small amount of players will encounter because not a lot of the players are all in VR. So it is just kind of irritating because they've definitely done a lot of work to put VR in this game and make it worth it. It's kind of one of the best reasons to buy. And right here is a good reason not to buy it because I'm stupid and go super wide. We're back up in the pack now. We got third and second place in front of us. I actually don't think I catch up to the leader for quite a while. One thing I do wish is that they would have made these races a little more like challenging with better weather. Kind of just stays clear and sunny. I don't remember if I'm the one who selects that or if that is something that the weekly challenge is just put on, but if I'm the one who selects it, I'm going to start selecting a little bit more crazy weather. There we go. We get our best split for that section, and right now my main goal isn't really to catch up. It's more just to put this space between second and third place. I want them to have no option. You can see in the rear view here, you don't get to see them for quite a while. So there we go. We finally get a good chicane run on that. Something that, like I said, is really great about watching back my races is that I can see a lot of areas on this where I can improve. Just rewatching it. When you're actually playing it, it's hard to think of these things, and if I played it for just a one-off race every once in a while, it's not too big of a deal. But every tenth of a second matters. So I'm gonna analyze it very closely, and still spin off to the end. So here we are, lap 8. I have overtaken the first place, and me and the first 3 cars go into pit. Right here, I am only focused on getting fuel. I do not need tires at this moment. My tires are about like half life, and they get a little slippery, but I go a little bit over just in case I got any spin outs, and here we go. We're off to the final little stretch of this. The one thing I really dislike, as you're about to see, is just, you can see all the cars passing you, which is fine, but you have no control over how quickly you get out of this pit. And again, with the VR thing, I'm looking off to the side, I'm trying to watch the cars that are coming by, and bam, I am no longer centered with my car. And then I get brake checked, and that is the most annoying. I pull out and immediately get brake checked by the German there, and that's just, it's unfortunate. So as a regular PSVR 2 racer, from all of us, I think it's very well noted that this just needs to be patched in some way or another. Make it so that you can just keep the player in the car for the pit stops, but then at that point I know it becomes like an in-game thing, or just track, like the game is still running, just track the headset movements and position it as though it's in the car. I guess it sounds easier than it probably is, but anyways, because of all that little bit all happening at once, I now get stuck out into 5th place. Again, it is no problem at all to pass them. There were a couple times this race where I considered pulling a Ross chassis in and just throwing it straight into the wall just to get past a couple cars, but I decided not to do that. So we're on the final straights now into the second to last lap, and I did not see what my lap time was there, but I know the fastest lap that I think I got in my practice sessions were like a little below like 2 minutes, and you can also notice that the tires are definitely starting to give. So I do take it very cautiously through this section here, trying not to spin out. You can see these tires are just getting real low. Something that the game does really well, which I'm surprised that my kind of piece together setup here handles, is the oscillations you get from the game are pretty well dampened, but you can still feel tire effects even with like a decent amount of dampening on. So right here, I don't know how, but I managed to get past him, and I do not spin out right here, and I am like holding on for dear life because I definitely thought I was going to spin out. But like I said, I've been taking notes while rewatching some of my races, and I can just tell that if I practice better throttle and brake control and more accurate shifting too. Also, look at that, as first place crosses, this fireworks going off is on the last lap is really, that's a nice sight to see. It gets you very pumped up, and here we go. The second place finish on Daytona. I was 14 seconds behind the lead car, so definitely a lot of ground to make up. Probably could choose a better vehicle. My total earnings for that are 92,000, putting me just over 1 million credits. Anything you see that you notice that I could work on for my racing or for my videos alone, just let me know. I'm going to try to get some of these the weekly challenge videos out a little bit more consistently, but see how good I can do on that. Final little issue. This gift system is probably the worst thing in the world. This should only ever be credits or cars. But as you can see, out of all of these supercars, I get the NSX. Yeah. Listen, I'm not ungrateful, but for a 6-star roulette ticket and to have all of those like hypercars and supercars up there, come on now. After finally realizing too that I need to start grinding getting vehicles, that's kind of my a secondary goal is I want to get up to collector level 50 so that way I can start doing engine swaps. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good day. See you the next